In the village of Nayli, where red earth met thick forests and the rivers carried voices of ancestors, a woman named Efuru lived. She was known not for her wealth or laughter, but for her silence. Her compound stood at the edge of the market path, where shadows stretched long at dusk. Every evening she lit a small clay lamp, though no one ever visited. Some said she had been widowed too young. Others whispered that she was not widowed at all, but bound to something deeper than marriage. One harmattan morning, Efuru did not rise. A child sent to fetch palm oil from her house found her lying still on her mat, her body wrapped in the white cloth she always wore. The news spread fast. The elders gathered, as tradition demanded. She had no husband, no children, no brother to speak for her. So the village did what it always did for the forgotten. They buried her quickly. The priest poured libation, the grave digger packed the soil, and the earth swallowed her in silence. But silence did not last. 3 days later, a woman carrying firewood claimed she saw smoke rising from Efuru's chimney. At night, a hunter swore he heard her singing by the stream. The elders dismissed it as fear. The dead sometimes leave an echo, they said. But the echo did not fade. Instead it grew louder. Children swore they saw her white wrapper gliding between trees. Traders returning late said her compound lamp was burning again. Then one night, under a bright moon, a farmer named Okeke saw what no one wished to believe. Efuru's grave was open. The soil was scattered, as if dug from within. Bare footprints led from the grave back to her compound. And in the doorway stood Efuru herself, watching the road, her face hidden, her body still. Panic seized the village. Priests chanted. Seers were summoned. Drums thundered in the night. But Efuru kept walking, slow and steady, past homes, past fires, stopping at crossroads and whispering words no one understood. She knocked on doors at midnight and vanished before dawn. And those who heard her whisper fell sick with fevers no healer could cure. The chief, trembling, sent for Ojena, a woman known as a truth-seer. Ojena arrived with a calabash of salt water and a burning torch. She circled Efuru's grave, chanting. The wind rose, the torch went out, and the salt water turned black. Then a voice echoed from the trees. Twice wrong. Twice buried. Ojena dropped her calabash and fled. The chief had no choice. A second burial was ordered. They dug another grave near the stream, deeper, lined with salt and ash. That night they carried Efuru's body, or what they thought was her body. But when the coffin was opened, only her wrapper lay inside. Her body was gone. Fear became madness. Some said she had been buried alive the first time. Others said she was never truly dead. Old women muttered of bargains made with spirits, debts unpaid, promises broken. One man, too bold for his own good, claimed he would confront her. He entered her compound at dusk. By dawn he was gone. Only his sandals remained at her doorway, filled with river stones. The chief sent for a bone caller, an old man blind in both eyes but sharp in spirit. He listened, nodded, and spoke. Efuru was not meant for your earth. She carried secrets across the threshold of death and returned to finish them. You cannot bury her with soil alone. You must bury the truth she refused to speak. The villagers searched her compound. In a clay pot they found herbs no one recognized, bones tied with red thread, and a ring carved from stone that glowed faintly at night. The bone caller trembled. She made a pact. She healed with power not hers. And she died before paying the full price. That is why she walks still. The only one who dared speak was Adiz, Efuru's sister who had long hidden in another village. She returned with a voice heavy with sorrow. She sought life from the dead, Adiz confessed. When my child was dying, she entered the forbidden grove beyond the hill. She begged the spirits for power. They gave it, but they asked her voice, her womb, her joy. She gave them, yet when the time came to return fully, she resisted. She chose silence instead of surrender. That silence bound her between worlds. The bone caller nodded grimly. Then you, her blood, must set her free. Only love can bury twice without curse. That night Adiz went to Efuru's grave. She carried her own blood in a gourd, strands of hair, and the same white wrapper. She called Efuru's name. The earth shook, and a shadow rose. Efuru's eyes glowed, filled with sorrow. "Why do you call me, sister?" Adiz knelt. "Because your silence calls me too. Rest now. Let me pay the price with you." Efuru's spirit wept. "They want remembrance. Not just mine but ours." Adiz pressed her palm to the soil, cut it, and let her blood sink in. The wind howled. The forest bent. The grave swallowed the shadow, and Efuru's voice faded with a whisper. Deeper. "Let them forget." At dawn, the village was quiet again. But Adiz had changed. Her eyes glowed faintly. Her shadow lingered longer than her steps. Animals healed near her house. People confessed their lies in her presence, unable to keep them hidden. She had become a bridge, half woman, half echo. Years passed. Efuru's story became a warning. No burial without truth. No silence for the dying. Every grave must hold words, or the dead would rise to claim them. The people learned to speak before the end, to confess, to forgive. And peace grew, not from fear of death, but from respect for truth. Yet on quiet nights, when the moon reddens, some still claim to see a woman in white standing at the edge of the forest, humming softly. They say it is Efuru listening. And if you listen too, you might hear another voice. Adiz, answering. Two sisters, one buried twice, one carrying the burden. Together their song drifts like wind over the village, reminding all. Not all graves hold the dead. Some hold secrets. And secrets never rest until spoken.